with the stream. Welcome to another weekly review. Today we're gonna be going through what happened during this week, opportunities, plays, and future plans for Bitcoin. All right. And of course, at the end, we can do a Q&A or take a look at any other chart you guys want. All right. So let me start off with higher time frame. Let's talk about first what happened this week. All right, and the analysis behind it. So, starting off the higher time frame, VWAP and daily chart. Starting off the week, we did have a really nice push on Monday towards 74-73k area. All right, now this push, if you guys notice here, let me show you, left behind some poor lows, right? This is not a bad sign, but it's not the best as well. We used to do that on trends. So yeah, if that's a valid trend, these lows should be left behind. Right, now if this whole thing ends up as a distribution, the first target, you know what it is, these poor lows that were left behind on Monday. Now going back into here, as we approached yearly VWAP once again, which now it is something we can take into consideration once, you know, the first quarter of the year has already passed. So the developing year value is something we can rely on. So as we approach yearly VWAP, I was like, okay, if this is a real breakout, if this is a real breakout outside of this range, what we should be doing, we should be building momentum right around here. And I talked about inside the Discord that we need to be seeing basically no daily closes below yearly VWAP, below this area, below 73, right? Because that would mean that this is not building up momentum, this is more likely chopping and consolidating, right? Now, what did we get? Okay, we did have a sweep, right? And the bearish close, but did this close below the yearly VWAP? Not really. Next day, we basically had some drive higher. As of yesterday, we had another drive higher with, you know, a sweep into the lows. So today we're getting a really nice push higher. But is this a breakout? Is this a fake out? We don't know yet. If this is a valid breakout and we're building actually momentum for higher, we need to be basically holding above these previous highs and moreover holding above yearly VWAP and lower time frame trend, right? If this is a valid breakout, to target these highs and developing year value area high, right? Now, if this is not a valid breakout, this will end up more likely as a sweep, and if today closes like lower below this high is not something I would like to see on an uptrend. And we have the weekend also coming, so if we don't really get a drive higher during the weekend, it will probably roll over, right? Now, even if we close down here during today or the weekend and we keep on losing this level, the level to lose is basically 74k, right? So if Bitcoin starts trading back below 74k, what do? we remain rotational within value, right? Within developing year VWAP and developing year value area low. If now we flip, we remain rotational towards, we are expanding basically towards the upper range of the value, VWAP and standard deviation 1 value area high basically. All right, now zooming out, if you guys remember, we have talked about this 2024 range, 2024 value. What the hell? Okay, so this 2024 value provided us with some support into previous 2024 VWAP, right? And as we can see, what's the next level 2 target? Right into 81k, basically, which is the 2024 value area high. So having this in mind, that level kind of aligns with developing year value area high. So if Bitcoin, if that's a valid momentum that is being built, and Bitcoin comes up into 81, 82k, 83, 84, around that area, we will need to see what happens here, because we have two possible scenarios. Bitcoin right here is between, if it comes between 80 plus area, it is between 2024 value area high and 2025 value area low, right? Previous year value area low. So around this whole area right here, Bitcoin needs to do one thing to remain bullish. It needs to keep on grinding and grinding and grinding above 80, 85, 90k in order to see more upside. But I don't think that is happening. It's too early to judge. I mean, the whole thing depends on the reaction we're gonna get, but my gut feeling says that we probably will be getting some sort of distribution forming around here, and we will be playing the 2024 value for a while, right? So as we are going higher here, all eyes are on 2024 value high. Basically, the target right now is 81, 80, 81, all the way towards 83k. All right, this whole area right here. All right, and then we can judge what Bitcoin does right here. But two scenarios are in play: Bitcoin distributing around this level, or Bitcoin accepting above, slow grinding above here, because this is also price action wise, if you notice, this is also bearish POI, right? So when we slow grind into a bearish POI, we're sending higher. And by higher, I mean, of course, we have some targets. First one being 87, right, the value area low, 88k, and next one being 100k, 99.5, all right, which is then a naked, an NPOC basically, right? We haven't tapped it yet. So yeah, this is a bull scenario. All right, now this for the higher time frame. Let's go on lower time frame. So all in all lies at 80, 81, all the way towards 83, right? And then if we keep on going higher, we need to be flipping 87k, 88. All right. Now, Going into quarterly VWAP, quarterly value, it has been the most significant level to flip alongside developing year VWAP, right? 74.5 basically, which is the previous quarter VWAP, right? Starting off the quarter, at the end of the quarter, we did get fake out around here into quarterly value area low, which became previous quarter value area low, right? And we got a nice rotation towards previous quarter VWAP, right? Now, we talked about with the guys in the Discord how we could see this playing out. Basically, the first bullish sign that we might be going higher and we're building some momentum is that when we build a value and we establish a new value into a key level, we wait for it to basically get some acceptance above, right? And this is what happened. So the first bear sign here, a bullish sign, sorry, was that we got a new established value on lower time frame here. If it was bearish, something like this would have happened. A sharp rejection into our key level, right? So going forward, what do we need to see? We need to see lows holding here, structure holding, previous quarter VWAP holding, in order to get more momentum higher towards previous quarter value area high, right? Previous quarter value area high is sitting at 84k, which is kind of aligning with our levels from the yearly value. So all in all, from 81 all the way towards 84k, we're looking for this is our target basically, and possibly a place where Bitcoin might find some resistance. Right. Now, if now this is bullish, we shouldn't be closing below here and losing previous quarter VWAP. If that happens, my gut feeling says that we will be trading all the way down towards 65k. All right. So major level to hold going forward if we're bullish is 75k. If we lose 75k and we accept below 74.5, we are getting a move all the way down towards 65. All right, that's simple. No need to overcomplicate it. We will look for lower time frame reactions in order to position ourselves. Now, into the monthly, which has been insanely good and pretty clean. We did have, as we talked about last week, we did have a nice rotation from value low to value high, and then we established the value here, as you can see, similar to what happened on the quarterly. Established the value and then started accepting above and trending, right? Now, during the week, we talked about with the guys in the Discord, and what was worth watching is what is happening above value, right? When things are trendy and we are basically in a trend, you need to see one thing. On uptrends, you need to see value area high holding, developing value area high holding. And look what happened here. We swept right into that level, kept on holding, and now we are expanding higher. So we have built a nice trend, as you can see, a nice trend higher and higher and higher. All right, so going forward, another thing that needs to happen is monthly value area high to hold. Even if we get a pullback right here, monthly value area high needs to be holding. All right, the bear scenario is to, let me bring the standard deviation 2 bands around here, okay, is to top out at some point around standard deviation 2, form some sort of range within here, get something like this, like this, and then get acceptance below developing month value for a move back towards potentially 72 and even lower into these poor lows towards 70s. All right, and even lower. All right, but all eyes at developing month value area high right now. If the trend is strong, this should be holding. So, jumping into the weekly. By the way, guys, if you have any questions at any point, you can ask me and I'll answer it right away or at the end of the stream. So, into the weekly value, which was also really important. Starting of the week, we didn't have something, but the most important thing was the developing week value, right? Where, as you can see, we established the value here, right? Which happened to be within developing week VWAP and developing week value area high, right? Within the Discord, we did have some nice plays here, some longs targeting value area high, some shorts targeting VWAP, and then of course a long occurred right here targeting value area high. Well, with the most important play being a flip above developing month value area high, developing week value area high, sorry. So what happened here is that we got a drive higher and we started accepting above developing week value area high. This retest was the perfect trade actually. I unfortunately faded. I'm holding some longs from here, but not enough. I should have added here, but it is what it is. We keep on trading the trend. So yeah, going forward, I don't think that value is important for us, only for lower time frame during the weekend possibly. We need to be seeing trend holding and weekly value high holding as well. All right. Now, I could go ahead and say that I long this, blah blah blah, but I would be LARPing. That's not what we do here. I'm not a perfect trader, so we move on. Now, right into TPO, starting off the weekly TPO. Starting off, okay, so we did have an established 8-week composite here. All right. Starting off the previous week, we started accepting above and spending time and space. All right. At the beginning of this week, we did have basically the impulse higher, right? So what's the only thing we can do? Focus on the trend. If the trend is strong, we should be holding above previous week value, right? Look at this. Holding above previous week value area high and building basically and having a trendy profile, right? Similar to this. So, not much to mention about the weekly TPO. Let's go into the daily. So for the daily TPO, one thing to mention, okay, we did have the push higher on Monday, and then we established a nice value right around here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right. Look, I'll go through your question in a bit. So the value that has been established here meant one thing going into today. First of all, for the past few days, we did have some single prints here that we targeted and played some longs from. We did have where we had here, if you notice, a 2-day composite, right? So this play right here was a pretty good play on a reclaim above the 2-day composite value area low. And then going into the day, one thing was important to hold above 75k, right, which is the 3-day composite value area high. Now, not much to mention regarding TPO, daily TPO as well. It's something we use day to day, figure out inefficiencies and composites. That's how I use it. Now, Luke is asking, what VWAP indicator are you using, and do you have any specific settings? The VWAP indicator I'm using is a custom made by me. You can find it. I have made a post on Twitter about it, and you can find it, of course, inside the Discord, or maybe I can share it here. Give me a second. I'll share it in the chat for you guys that are joining the stream. I'm having the indicators and stuff for free for now until I make a nice suite, which the cost is going to be like nothing. About the settings, I just have a 4-tile view with the weekly value here. You can use standard deviation bands. I use also standard deviation bands too, of 2 standard deviation. And then you have the lines mode, which you're getting the value in lines to mark it out quickly with horizontal lines and stuff like that. All right, so let me share the indicator here. I just shared it in the chat. You guys can have a look and try it out. Ty is asking, how do you choose your bias when the price is jumping between 2 values like the previous days? That's a pretty good question. Now, the bias, as I said, you're choosing your bias based on where you are in terms of value. When you're sitting into value area high, your bias basically is that when we are above, let me show you here, for the past few days. So when we were into value area low, right, your bias was that if we reclaim above again value area low, we are going all the way towards value area high. If we are rejecting value area high, we're going back to value area low. That's what you do. You're trading extremes. I don't really care to trade what is happening here or whatever. I only care about to trade extremes, right? And when you're above your extremes, you're playing expansion. That's pretty much it. And that's why we're using auction market theory. So, did I cover VWAP? Did I cover TPO? And the previous quarter VWAP do not bother? No, it doesn't. It's a higher time frame level, right? Like, I do care what happens with it, but I do care only on a higher time frame basis. So, for example, on the 5-minute chart, I'm not going to be focusing on the previous quarter VWAP. On the 4-hour chart, and if we're getting, we're spending time and space below here, of course, I'm going to be bearish biased if that happens. But since we were trading right into it, there's nothing to make out of it. All right. Only now that we are trading above it. Okay. One thing that I can, one advice that I can give you guys is to treat VWAP and VWAP areas, previous quarter, VWAP, value high, value low, as areas and not as levels. Okay, this will make your life so much easier. Trust me. Now, going into this week's trades that we took with the guys on the Discord. So, by the way, I'm holding these longs right here until 80 plus. Around 80k, I'm looking to take profit. Unfortunately, I didn't add more. This would have been great, but it is what it is. Now, this week's trades, starting off the week, it was Easter here, so I was a bit drunk, and I tried trading this SFP here into previous week value high, previous month value high. I thought this was forming a distribution, but as you guys can see, this is a clean trend, right? So I went against the trend. It was good that I noticed my mistake early and didn't lose a lot of money into this. So yeah, starting off the week, we did have this loss right here because I was biased that we are gonna take out these poor lows, right? Mistakes happen. Now, as we approach this level right here, I tried playing some longs. Also had this Coinbase week. I took this trade live right here, and the target was the previous swing high, which was right here at 76k. Yeah, exactly. So this trade played out perfectly. Some Coinbase fat finger came in, noticed that, jumped into the trade, into the trend, and took profit right into the highs. Okay, took profit, most of it when the week was filled, and then held runners into 76. Next trade I took for Tuesday was that I waited for a pullback right into that area, and I think it was daily VWAP as well. As you can see, bounced off exactly here, accepted above, noticed some trapped sellers, some momentum kicking in, and targeted this POI right into daily value high, and this is where I took profit, and it was the perfect trade profit actually. And then I let price develop a bit, and going into Wednesday I took a long right when I woke up, targeting these internal highs. Let me get rid of VWAP and these right here, these internal highs, right? So yeah, I think we did have, yeah, nothing there's a VWAP except the fact that we were ranging until we didn't, right? So yeah, I took majority of profit into this POI as price arrived here, tapped this level, and then kept my trade. This was like, for me, instead of 4.5, this was like a 3-hour trade in total, so it was a good trade as well. Now into here I tried playing this kind of SFP. These lows weren't the best, and I took majority of here, rest of break even. Unfortunately, I missed this super great short live on stream. This was a pretty good short targeting these lows, right? Also, this London low was not safe as well, right? All in all, I didn't take a lot of trades this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades. Okay, that's enough. And then going into these lows, I was biased long just because we were holding. Let me show you. We were holding it was this exact point here. We were holding monthly value high. We accepted back above weekly VWAP, right? And something else that I pointed out here on stream was that we are holding the AVWAP from the pivotal low, right? Although I was biased long, I tried shorting here. You may ask why. Um, it's some mistakes I do sometimes. You know, it was a clean uptrend, no lows were broken. I tried shorting here just because we were below the value, right? But that didn't mean anything. Actually, we took out liquidity, didn't give it time. I tried catching a breakout. Happens. These mistakes happen. I could have longed here but wasn't active. This trade, if anyone took it, was a perfect trade to take after this move higher towards these highs, right? And then I talked about how this move higher might be something that is setting up for a breakout. Why is that? Because first of all, higher time frame wise, now I'm showing you how to pair higher time frame with lower time frame. We were holding developing month value high and accepting above developing week value high, right? So if we were really bullish, we needed to be holding trend here. Where was the imbalance to fade, to bid? Right here I set some scale limits all the way down to here, and I woke up in profits, right, where I took majority of 70% here, and then I'm holding the rest for higher as we are expanding higher above value. Right, that's how markets move from chop, balance to imbalance, and back to balance and imbalance again, wherever that is. All right, now these were the trades of the week. For the week, I think I'm up. Let me check. Start of the week with -1, +3, makes it +2, plus 3.5 makes it plus 5.5, plus 3.5 makes it plus 9. Right, and now on this rate I'm up, first rate I'm up like was up 2R plus whatever that comes up with. So all in all, it's a 10-hour week and we keep on going. All right, focusing on higher probability trades. You don't need to be in a trade always, all the time. Just focus on what works for you guys. For me, it works trading extremes, right? And that's pretty much it. Any questions regarding anything about that? About any trades or any charts you want me to take a look at? Alts. We talked about also in some of the streams with the boys about this play here. For Ethereum, let me show you. Similar to Bitcoin, right? Sweep into monthly value high, into weekly value VWAP, and into previous quarter VWAP. Would you look long any alts? I'm already long on Ethereum, here. Didn't post about it, unfortunately. I'm also looking, let me show you, at Solana. I mean, Solana has been having a great run. We talked about this trade as well from previous month value high, VWAP, sorry, value low all the way towards value high. It's holding up great. Hype is holding up great as well and might be expanding way higher. I have some exposure here. Lit is also looking strong. Once we flip 1.2 and if we flip 1.2, I will be loading a bunch of lit. What else? LDO looking strong, holding small position here. I'm not long in any other alts, honestly. What about you guys? Are you long in any alts? Are you having any alt positions going? Hey Aniket, what's up, man? So yeah, if this goes towards 79 point whatever that is, this POI basically, these highs, today I will be closing. Like too late, too long. Don't chase this. Honestly, it's not a wise thing to do. A good opportunity was to long some. Let me get rid of these. To long again some into here. On trends, we have basically how to play VWAPs. On trends, you have the VWAP, strong uptrends, while your high standard deviation 2, right? VWAP is white, standard deviation 1 is yellow, and that is 50%. So when price is bullish, it will do something like this, accept above standard deviation 1, right? And then start a trend right between these, right? So every time you see standard deviation 1 holding, it's a good opportunity to long, right? And that's how you trade developing value, right? So as long as trend is holding, you can be looking at this POI, pair that with some, pair the VWAP with some structure always, and you can try longing right around here. All right, but don't chase this. Don't try longing into tops. Only on pullbacks. And if the opportunity is there, if you see bid coming in and stuff like that, you're longing. By the way, you guys remember the levels that I have posted on Twitter, right? Look how these are playing out. How perfectly. Accepted above here, went into that level, found some resistance until it was flipped, right? Perfect. So you don't need to overcomplicate things. These levels are based on simple support resistance and some value, right? These are based on the 8-week value with some adjustments, and these are simple support resistance levels, right? So by just trading support resistance, you can out trade the whole of crypto Twitter, trust me. By the way, for any of you guys that want to join the group or want to participate into the daily streams, you can go ahead and let me show you and choose your plan right here, monthly, quarterly, yearly. If you have any questions, open a ticket or go and get a challenge through Breakout, which you can follow this link right here. Use code LORE at checkout. Make sure it is a first time order. What does that mean? It means that you need to be buying an account for the first time under that user. So if I sign up with my email, I need to be purchasing an account for the first time and use code LORE. And that way, if you buy an account of 25, 50, 100k or 200k, you will be getting 1 month access or more depending on the account you choose. All right. And of course, I'm bringing in more exchanges and more firms that you guys can buy something or complete some volume and get free access into the group. Basically, that's something as an addition to the membership that already is for you guys to keep the membership going for free. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, do let me know, or if you want me to take a look at any else, or else I will be ending the stream here. Last thing that I want to mention is that higher time frame is king for now, so all eyes around 80 plus, and 75k is basically the level that needs to be holding to see more upside. All right, so that's pretty much it, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next stream. Have a great one. Cheers.